Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and this is a book chat type video. I read Hooked on Murder. This is the first of the crochet murder mystery. The one I did before and I read to you all was Men Don't Crochet, and to be fair, I just had ordered the books because one of our yarn friends, Christy, had mentioned them, and I didn't pay attention to which one was first. This is the introductory book of the series. Is it crucial to read the first book first? No. I mean, we're all intelligent. You'll start piecing it together, and usually, in the series books, they do a little bit of recapping at the beginning, but it was nice to just start overall with the beginning of the story on how Molly gets into solving murders. And so that's what this book is about. It's about a woman who is recently widowed. She has 2 adult children, and when her husband passes away, she has to go and get a job not really for the first time. She had worked with her husband in his business, which is what this book is centered on. Is her former husband's widowed. Yeah, she's a widow. He's just passed. Her former husband's publicity company, and a murder that occurs. Overall, again, like I said, it's a pretty simple story. It's good. I did not, again, predict the murder. Apparently I'm terrible at that. Because, in these murder mysteries, they always give you 2 or 3 different suspects. And I always guess the wrong one. I don't know. Molly's character in this book, I think she's one of those kind of gals that spent her life, she married young, she raised 2 kids, she has adult children, and she's kind of now in the time of her life where she's just going to throw caution to the wind, and she's just really going to live her life. And so I really respect that about her. I did not have kids young. I didn't have my first until I was 28. So I guess I got to have, although I'm not really a reckless person, I got to have more of the young fun before I got married and had kids. But anyway, it's a really great book. And again, the reason why I talk about these books, if you're just tuning in, is she takes part in a crochet club. She works at a bookstore as a publicity type. She plans events and whatnot. And there is a crochet club that meets at her bookstore, or the bookstore she works at, and they crochet for charity. The bookstore sponsors them, purchases their supplies, and they make something for charity. In this book, they are making a granny square blanket where all the crocheters are responsible for making little squares that then get sewed together, and they're donating the blanket to an animal shelter that spays and neuters stray animals. Yeah. And so the one thing that I really have been loving about these books is in the back, she gives you a recipe for a cake she makes when she goes and visits somebody. Last book, it was a cupcake. And then here, she gives you a pattern for she's calling it Ceces Granny Square Washcloth. So just like in the last book, which you can kind of see over my shoulder there in the mess, I made the hug shawl. I made Ceces Granny Square Washcloth. And here it is. I'm going to be honest, it's really not that, it's not that impressive, but it is a good starter project. And that's what they said in the book. Molly and her best friend Diane join an already established crochet club. And Ceces, she's like, this will be a good project to get you guys started on. And one of my favorite of all times meme that I've seen on computers is a crochet hook talking to some knitting needles. And he's like, it really takes all of you to make a circle. Because, in a crochet, you can just, one hook, you can make a circle. Whereas in knitting, you got to use, you can use circulars, but you got to use all those little double pointed needles. But that's what Cece points out to them, is that in crochet, you can crochet in the round and whatnot and only use one hook. And I thought that was a funny little joke. Again, in this book, there's a fella that joins the Crochet Club. So I like how, you know, they got guys and gals working together. But yeah, it's honestly just a simple granny. There's really not much to it. I don't know if I was thinking that because I liked the color so much, I might like frame it. Somebody had talked about that once, and maybe just have a little crochet art hanging on the wall. So I might look into that. It's not my best work ever. It's not intricate, but I mean, I don't think I made any mistakes. The yarn that I use in the book, she actually calls for Lily Sugar and Cream, which I think I buy the generic Walmart Peaches and Cream, I believe. This one for sure is Peaches and Cream. And of course I don't have any reading glasses, and it's in the color Mint. This one I don't have a label for, and it's just a ball of cotton. It feels softer than this cotton. What that tells us, I don't know, but it's in a purple color. So yeah, I whipped this up in a few minutes. The only thing that I added was a single crochet border all the way around. And I did not make it as big as the pattern called for. I was like, this is a real big washcloth. Now, to be fair, I've never really used cotton crocheted cloths as washcloths. I, for a little while, was using them as dishwashing cloths. And then I started combining the cotton with scrubby yarn to make scrubby cloths. And then I just made them like little rectangles or the little circles. One time I did make a bath poof out of this, and it just filled with water, absorbed it all, was real heavy. So I'm going to be honest, I don't typically use the cotton for dishcloths and whatever. I do use them for trivets or pot holders. And that, when I do that, like if I were to use this one, I would do a solid background and sew them together. So I have used cotton primarily for pot holders and trivets and things like that. You know, where you stick them on the table and then you can stick your hot pot on top of it. So this was the pattern. Was it fun? Yes. Was it easy? Super easy. Absolutely a good pattern starter. The book was good. The murder was solved at the end. The murderer was caught. And it was nice. Now, this is the deal. The next book in this series is called By Hook or By Crook. Now, I do not have that one. The next book that I have is You Better Not Die. In between Dead Men Don't Crochet and You Better Not Die is Hook or By Crook and A Stitch in Crime. Now, my birthday's coming up in August, and for my husband, I typically put together an Amazon list of things that I'd be interested. And this time, interestingly enough, it is all books. I have a bunch of these thrown into there. I have some Julia Quinn books thrown in there. She's the author of Bridgerton. She's written a lot more books than those main books that they're making in a TV show and ruining. But anyway. And then also she, I just forgot her name. Craftably Ever After, Cassandra. She put together a video of her favorite crochet books. Yeah. And I threw a few of those in a cart as well. So I said to my husband, you can give me any combination of these books. So I'm going to wait out till my birthday and see what I get before I read You Better Not Die. Now, I don't know. Like I said, I read book 2 and then I read book 1. Will it matter if I skip right to book 5? Probably not. But I just thought, now that I know there's an order, I'm going to wait. And then these are actually such really good, simple reads. That's another thing I wanted to say, is that typically during the school year, I can only read on the weekend. During the week, my brain is just chock full of education. So it's really nice to wake up on a Saturday morning and I can read this book in one day. Now, this one did take me a little longer, and that's because I did not devote myself just to reading. I have kids the age where I can sit on the couch and I can just read a book, or I can sit outside on the lawn patio chair, whatever, and read a book, and they can all feed and water and go to the bathroom on their own. Every once in a while, I jump in and referee, but to be honest, and some of you may not agree with this, I don't enjoy refereeing. When they have a fight, they need to learn to problem solve on their own. They need to learn the consequences of upsetting their siblings on their own. When you go in there as a parent, especially with older kids, and start refereeing, then they're both mad at you. Yeah. So I just usually, unless it sounds like it's getting violent or really verbally aggressive, I generally just let them fight it out. Now, I do have some more things I want to show you before I turn off this short little video. One, I did figure out how to rotate my triangle shawl video. So now I'm trying to decide, do I delete the one that I have loaded up there and reload it so that it's the correct way and just try again? All of your comments will be lost if I do that. And I guess I'll try to quick read them all. Excuse me. So there's that to be considered, because YouTube doesn't let you load two videos that are identical, and I'm pretty sure flipping it isn't going to change it that much to where they allow me to have both. So I'll have to delete the existing video and reload the triangle shawl pattern the right way. I'm going to double check with my husband because he's an electronic genius. Okay. All right. And so the last thing is the last week, or I don't even, probably wouldn't even be a full week, I did make some hats. As you know or don't know, I make hats for my second graders for Christmas. And I made a whole bunch last year because I was in the hospital with Flynn, but they are more on the girly side if you were someone that leaned towards the pinks and purples and teals and that. So I needed to bulk up my green, browns, blues, my, other colors. So I used this big twist. I've lost, unfortunately, the label for this one, but this is a blue variegated, and I really love how the hat knitted up. You can see that there's a little bit of like fading and striping in there. Super cute. Cute hat. So I made this blue one. And then this one is Party. This is Big Twist Party yarn. Both of them are. And, oh boy, I'm trying to find the name of the color. Succulent. It's in shades of green and yellow. In Wisconsin, we'd call this packer. There is a little bit of a fleck of an orange in there. These Big Twist Party yarns I first came across a couple years ago, and I really hoarded them up in the pinks. You can kind of see them in that cubby right there. That's my Big Twist. All of that's Big Twist yarn. And this is what this hat looked like. I guarantee in Wisconsin, some little nugget is going to call this a packer hat because it's green, yellow. It does have that kind of tan colorway in there. But again, when you are knitting with these Big Twist Party yarns, you absolutely see the color striping. Like I've said before, sad as it may be, a lot of the variegateds, if you want to see their patterns, you're going to have to knit with them. Crocheting with them is just, they're just not made to show their beauty with crochet. But they look beautiful in different ways. Now, as you can see, I did make this hat a little shorter. This one was only 4 inches before I started the decrease, whereas this one was maybe 5. Some kids have big melons, some don't. Yeah, so that's really all I've been working on. I'm about to get started on catching up on Cassandra's Whimsical Stitches World Tour. There's a world tour and an American tour. Basically, they're going to be making every pattern in this book. I did see that in one of the tours, they made that turtle that I made right there. So I got that. But I also saw on some of her videos that the cupcakes, large and small, were made. What was the other thing I saw that was made? Somebody made this flower. The only thing about that one is that involves equipment. You're going to need hot glue. You're going to need a dowel. You need a little pot. Whereas in one of these books I might dig around for it, they have you crochet the pot. Yeah, and this one here has you putting it in a pot. I made this coffee cup. I don't know if you can see it up there. I don't see where I have it. But yeah, so I thought maybe today's a free day for me. I just got to pick up my kid from fitness and then take him over to learn how to use Grandpa's lawnmower. Grandpa's going away on a little vacay, and he got a new lawnmower. So I got to take him over to learn how to do that. And then, yeah, I'll be off to come back home to mostly knit and crochet. I started a hat while I was chatting with my sister last night. This is a mandala cake. I want to say, it felt like it was something like elephant. Elephant? I can't even imagine this being the colorway. But it was a mandala cake that I used a long time ago to make a poncho for one of my second graders. And I wanted to make sure that it ended on a good color match. So I bought another cake to use just that section of color to finish it. And then I had most of it left. So I thought, oh, well, I'll start a hat. Granted, it's another girl hat. And I say that because, you know, boys, some boys like pink and purple too. Like I said, I always have that one kid that shockingly chose a purple hat. But I like to have a variety of colors. So another pink and purple. But, you know, it's what I like. It's what I have a lot of. And I thought I would try to use more scrap yarn today, this summer with my projects. Yeah, so that is about it. That wraps it up. Today is a day to do some whimsical stitches patterns to finish out that book this summer. I'm running out of summer vacation. They released our class list, so now I'm mulling it over, thinking about seating arrangements, getting ready to label things. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. I go back into the classroom to start setting things up on the 1st. Our in-service starts on August 12th. And then the first day of school is August 20th. So it's wrapping up, but it really has been a very relaxing summer. Flynn is doing well health-wise, and we've finally gotten to get him out of the house a bit. He's gone to a couple stores. He went out to eat once. We went on the camping trip. We found a fair somewhere outside of the town of Green Bay that we took him to. He got to go to the movies. So that's been pretty nice for him to start getting out and enjoying a little bit of life before he transitions back into full-time school. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking and hopefully sharing my videos. Until the next video, happy crafting. Bye.